In this video, you will be shown the step-by-step process of painting the interior of an Astra Militarum Valkyrie. First, the parts were separated, sanded, and all the details cleaned. All of the parts were then primed with one-shot black primer. For the base color, light compass ghost gray was applied. The color was airbrushed to cover only the large areas. This technique creates volume, beginning with your base color. Transparator was added to the base color and a thin layer airbrush to unify the surface. To the previous mixture, matte white was added to increase the contrast of the highlights. All surfaces were then protected with a coat of aqua gloss clear from A-Stand. Washes were applied around all the details to outline them. The product Dark Wash is ideal for this effect. The varnished surface allows the product to flow easily around all the details. With a brush dipped in enamel odorless thinner, any excess was removed. The details were then highlighted with the dry brush technique, using a Dio Drybrush paint color light gray. For this example, the dry brush technical number 6 was used. The excess paint was removed on an absorbent paper. The surface was then rubbed to highlight all the details. With a fine-tipped brush in the same color, the details that stand out the most were highlighted. The same process was then used on rivets and bolts. With the sponge technique and the Dio Drybrush color chipping, wear and chipping effects were applied. For this effect, it is important to accumulate the chipping in the most worn areas, such as the ramp and the doors. The panels were painted black and outlined with a lighter gray to give volume. The same process was then used on the hoses and tubes. All the buttons and screens were first painted light gray brown. This color allows you to maintain the intensity of all the colors, shown here with pure red. To imitate the control panels, dark gray can be used as a base and the details painted in white. The process of painting buttons and details continued using pure green. As this is a wargame ship, you can use any color you choose. In this case, bright orange was used for striking contrast. The text on the control panel can be simply imitated by making a thin line with white, using a fine-tipped premium Marta Kolinsky brush. The wires were then painted with uniform blue, adding a variety of color. Imitating the effects of dirt began by using Oilbrusher color ochre, by depositing it in small quantities. The product was then blended with a brush dampened with enamel odorless thinner. The same process was repeated on the lower areas of the side panels. This effect was allowed to dry for 24 hours before varnishing all the pieces with ultra matte Lucky Varnish. Finally, the metallic details were painted in the color steel. Both metallic colors Warhead Metallic Blue and Steel were used. The cabin roof lights were painted with the blue tone. Before it dries, the center of the spotlight was blended with the color steel. This step was repeated on the red lights, using the color metallic red. To increase the brightness of the lights, a final coat of crystal black blue and crystal red were added. Extra thin cement was then used to assemble all of the pieces. Finally, airfield dust pigment was used to imitate the remains of dust accumulated in the nooks and details. For the cockpit, the same products and techniques were used. Find all of the products used in this video on our website, www.ammo.es. Discover many more videos on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate notifications. Thank you for watching.